New Mushroomhead music. It's been 6 long years since The Righteous and the Butterfly Man, and it is a new era for Mushroomhead. New members, new singers, but this still has the Mushroomhead essence that we all love. Looking at the final product, man, how do you feel about A Wonderful Life? Because you are more involved with the recording product than a lot of the other members are.
Right on. Yeah. Thank you. As far as for the props on it, I really I'm really proud of this one. It came together really, really quick. We started basically. It was written over the course of like December 2018 to January 2020. We were on tour for quite a bit of it over the course of 4 or 5 tours, and did a lot of writing on the bus to basically stay on it and kind of develop as much as we could, just take advantage of the technology,
right,
and relieve some of the road boredom. But we were fortunate to be doing that at the time, so we ended up doing some tracking at Abbey Road, which we can get into as well. But ultimately, as far as back to your question, I think that as far as how I feel about it, I think it's a really, really honest effort. It's surprisingly like modern times right now. You think we wrote it last week as far as some subject matter on it, what I mean, with what's going on. That's a little it's a little spooky almost.
Yeah, man.
And then
definitely
obviously with the title, that kind of gets there as well, as far as the irony, the tongue in cheek. Is it satirical? Is it literal? It leaves a lot to be interpreted by the listener, that's for sure. But I'm real proud of it.
It really does. I mean, it's been, like we said, about 5 years since the last record, but considering what all has gone down in the last 5 years, I mean, it's one thing when there's lineup changes and whatnot, but you guys lost 2 singers, and one of them being Jeff, who's been there since the beginning, to rebound as well as you guys have, and honestly as quickly as you guys have too, to keep this, to keep the core sound of Mushroomhead, and for the fans to be as invested as they still are, I think really says a lot. I mean, how difficult was it to kind of rebound from, losing Jeff and Waylon, but bringing in Jackie and Rockhorst? I mean, Jackie's been there for a few years now, but she's full-time now.
Yeah, and she's not like, everyone says, oh, she's full-time. It's like, well, just wait till you hear the record, because, it's not like she's on every song. She's actually only on, I think, 5 total, and 2 like are kind of featured.
Yeah.
And a couple of the songs aren't like your traditional songs at all. Like the one we have, it's called Where the End Begins. I mean, that's a little over 7 minutes, so that's not your traditional songwriting, but it's very traditional in the way of Mushroomhead.
Yeah.
As far as bouncing back, so to say, from member changes, I think a lot of people, and it's no fault of anyone's, because the band's been around for 27 years this year. So
changes are going to happen.
Yeah, to not know your proper Mushroomhead history, I understand. A lot of people don't. So what I mean by that is there's never been 2 consecutive albums in a row without a lineup change, ever. Every single album from consecutive album, someone left and someone came. Every single one. So change is ultimately part of the Mushroomhead sound, and I think that also lends itself into the experimenting of working together with new people each time around, which lends to some of the uniqueness, I guess, of Mushroomhead. But for some reason, I always, as a producer, maintain that good doom and gloom. There's always a creepy element to it. There's always like some tension. It's certain things that I, as a producer, I think bring to the table to add to the cohesiveness of all of them. But it was very natural, again, to move into uncharted territory, man. And like I said, we're no strangers to not. It's not so much starting over as it's beginning.
Yeah, Yeah, definitely, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Is it's it's a new era almost in a lot of ways. And it's obviously another chapter, but it's also a new era. Like you said, it's a beginning, and there's some newer kind of evolved sounds, but it still also has that Mushroomhead sound that the longtime fans want and love at the same time. So I feel like the 5 or 6 years it took to complete the record really paid off because you guys really took your time on this one, and the lyrics, it all just kind of comes together so well. And working with Matt again on this record, because it's been a while since you've worked with him. I know you've been involved in the producing of pretty much every record, but you haven't worked with Matt for a very long time. What was it like bringing him back, and why did you decide to bring him back?
Well, Matt, great. Yeah, he did 13 with us, and which was 2003. So it's 17 years.
Yeah.
To sit with Matt, and it was great. It was really, we were fortunate that our schedules were able to work out. And this one we did a little different. I did not fly out to LA and sit with him every single day. We did it all through email. Now, part of that was because of timing, and a lot of it was, we've worked with Matt before. We know what he's capable of. We know where his ears are. He's great. He's got good, fresh ears. He comes in and mixes at the end to where, he's got like a fresh approach to all of it. So I have a lot of faith in him, and I had a lot of faith in it, and it paid off, obviously. But so I wanted to just see his approach. I didn't want to have to sit there and say, hey, we're going to bump this fader over here. I'm going to turn that knob and say, hey, let's do this and let's do that. We just did it through email and just sent some files back and forth every now and again, changing something. So it was a lot of it was a little different. Like I said, it was kind of stressful at times, but as we got through it and developed a groove, everything came out sounding, I think, really huge and big. Matt's just a great guy all around, and it was just, again, using technology to our advantage and doing things a little different.
Can you ever see or envision a record where you personally aren't involved with the producing of the record? Because you have been for, I think, every record, if not most of them, but I'm pretty sure all of them. But I mean, can you ever see a time when that isn't the case and you turn it over to a producer to go to do their thing with, or is it very important to you that you are very involved with the producing of the record?
It's very important to me, absolutely. And it just depends on, what type of relationship you're going to have with someone, producing or co-producing and working with from the start. And I mean that by going in and saying, all right, this is how we're going to approach this project. So if you have the mentality that, hey, man, I'm going to let this guy lead. He knows way more than I do. He's got a lot of gold on the record, on the wall. He's got a lot of platinum on the wall, that type of thing. To where you can actually sit back and take this as a learning opportunity. I have no problem with something like that, like a Kevin Churko.
Right.
If we were able to do a track with him and he wanted to, if he said, Skinny, the only way I'm working with you guys is if you let me do my thing, I was, fuck yeah, dude. So, yeah, I'm very open to collaborating and, again, experimenting as an artist and as a producer.
Yeah, and last week you guys released the video for the Heresy, which actually released on my birthday, so it was like the best birthday present ever at the time, which was fucking great, man. 2 videos already for this record. The record's not out yet, but the video for the Heresy is really, really very cool. Where did the idea come up for that video? Whose idea was it? And how involved were you guys with that? Obviously, you guys are in it, but just overall, how hands-on were you with that?
That one was 100% done in our shop. We built the sets. We did all the filming. We have our own camera setup, our own chip setup, track dolly, lighting. So I had quite a bit of help from a lot of friends that are in the industry and in the business. And since this COVID shit's going on, there wasn't really a lot of people out of work. So, I was fortunate to have some people come together and knock this stuff out relatively quick with me, and spend the 12-hour, 15-hour days and get it done. Because, like you said, 2 videos pretty quick before the album even comes out. So we were racing against the clock to get it done. But that was just one of the many silly video treatment ideas that I had laying around when we were tracking the song "The Heresy." Jackie's vocals were actually tracked at Abbey Road while we were on tour in London last time around. So it's really nice to hear those. Every time I hear those vocals, I'm sitting right back in that studio. You know?
Nice.
But yes, we're hands on. So that's 100% done, shot and edited right here at our studios, and I think it came out really, really cool. There was a lot of experimenting going on with speeds of the tape, because you can tell it's almost slow motion. So we played around with frame rates to get some different looks, and I think the end result is pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
real happy with it. I wish I would have had a little bit more time, because I had a little bit more of a story to tell with the intro. But we're thinking about trying to tie it into yet another video, like before we take those sets down, and build something else. But I was trying to go for that abandoned, like, nuclear control room, abandoned nuclear submarine.
Yeah. That's
everything, like the ceiling's leaking and there's just machinery or weaponry being built. Like it's kind of fun. But I had the main idea for that started with Jackie putting a baby in a bomb. That's all I kept seeing in my head when she was singing the lines "We Feed the War Machine," and I was like, oh, that'd be great.
That's awesome.
Here we are, a year and a half later, making it.
That's awesome, man. And then the video for Seen It All, I mean, was that kind of the same thing where it was all in-house and you guys kind of filmed it on your own, and all that was a little bit different with that one?
Yeah, okay, so that one was like right when this whole COVID thing happened. I couldn't even get people to want to work, because everyone was really paranoid at that point. They didn't know if we could be around each other 10 feet away, 6 feet away, everyone's wearing masks. It's funny, it's a little side note. Mushroomhead's always said, how cool would it be if we got to look out in the crowd and they were all wearing masks? This is not what we were talking about. Anyways, back to the Seen It All. If you look at those shots, almost everyone is alone. They're not together. It's just presented that way in the editing. There's a couple of shots where the singer with the guitar player is standing about 12 or 15 feet behind them, and those are really brief as well.
Yeah.
So it's really challenging to do that Seen It All one.
Wow, I didn't even think about that, but that does make sense, especially considering when it came out. I never thought, holy shit, that makes sense. Speaking of like all of the COVID and stuff, a lot of bands are doing like interactive stuff on Facebook or online and all that stuff because they can't tour. I mean, the record isn't coming out at the most opportune time because touring's all on hold. How are you guys handling all of that right now? Are you looking at doing some interactive stuff online with fans? Or are you kind of holding out to see if you can tour? Because there's a few tour dates that haven't been canceled yet. I know Rockin' the River out here up in Fort Wayne isn't canceled yet. But what are you guys thinking about for when the record releases then?
Well, as of right now, everything we had for this year, especially through the summer, has just been postponed to 2021.
Okay.
So immediately we were out of a year off. I'm like, really? So the only thing that I know of that's still in the works or is still on hold in the Mushroomhead world that I can speak of right now is October. None of that was actually canceled or postponed. It was just put on hold, if you will.
Sure.
So, we're still hopeful that, the world is allowed to go back out.
Right.
But again, is everyone going to want to jam into a 600-seat club and be shoulder to shoulder? Are they going to have all these restrictions? There's just so much uncertainty that, we're kind of just sticking with the, hey, everything's going to be next year plan. Possibly October, but the touring thing's crazy. So on the interacting thing, we're just focusing on doing more videos.
Okay.
Because it's kind of our wheelhouse. It's what we really, really love to do. It's like the celebration of the music. Once we're done with it, we get to put it to video and set art around the soundscape that we created. So to me, this is like some of the most fun time to play with what we just created audio wise. So we're gonna pretty much just focus on videos. So you'll see hopefully 2 or 3 more over the summer.
That would be awesome. And speaking of summer, one thing I wanted to ask you, because you guys were on this tour when Righteous and the Butterfly released. What were your thoughts when you heard that Mayhem Festival might be coming back? Well, which would have been this summer, but now it's not this year, obviously. I mean, do you think that we need that type of a touring format back? I mean, what were you thinking when you heard that might be coming back?
Absolutely. I think we do need. I would love to see one or two of those types of things come back. We made the joke that when this gets lifted or there's a vaccine or whatever's going on, they tell us that you don't need a vaccine or what. All right, so when the world gets back to normal, we're hoping that it does like next year, and it's just basically like the Roaring '20s all over again, but a whole new century of it. Look at like how Europe does their festivals; they have the good 4-day ones. People could do a lot more of that type of thing, and I think if anything, this next year might be, the time for promoters to band together and do something like that and say, hey man, let's just put on one big one in the state instead of playing around with all these little ones against each other. Take some lessons from Europe and look at those festivals. I mean, I know it's a lot of money and it's a lot of insurance and it's a lot of, but I think that the world is ready. The hard rock and heavy metal world is ready for it. Definitely like a Mayhem or an Ozfest would be brilliant.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I feel like with a lot of the tours not being canceled, postponed to 2021, next year, like you said, with the Roaring '20s thing, I feel like we're going to get just double the concerts because we'll have everything that was booked for 2021 on top of everything that was postponed for 2020. So we're probably going to get like double the concerts that we would normally have because, I mean, I think fans and the bands are going to win in 2021 if it's done right. I really do. Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's a lot of opportunity there, and there is going to be a lot of traffic, but let's face it, it'll be limited busing.
Yeah, very true. I wanted to ask the Andy Dick video. Was that Cameo? How did you guys book that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Cameo stuff. We've got a couple more up our sleeve too, but yeah, the Andy one was just so funny, and he had kind of time dated it, so he said we got to wait till June, and it was like June 1st. We're like, we got to put it out. So I didn't want to waste it, but I think it went over a lot of people's heads. A lot of people don't even know who Andy Dick is. And,
man.
But those that do, and those that are hardcore Mushroomhead fans, understand, and they know that we have a sense of humor.
It was fucking great.
I thought it was just a fun way to promote the band,
Definitely, man. I laughed my ass off. That was fucking great. So
more coming, don't worry.
I can't wait, man. Dude, new record out next Friday. Not this Friday, but out next Friday. Coming soon. Dude, the record kicks ass. Wonderful Life. Fucking amazing follow-up. It's a new era. It's a new chapter. Mushroomhead going strong. We will see you on the road in 2021. And, dude, you guys knocked it out of the park. Thank you so much for a good record.
Right on, man. Thank you. It was a pleasure to make, and I hope that the world likes it as much as I did.
Definitely, man. We'll catch up soon.